My name is Ava, and I'm here to share a story that changed everything for me. It all began during one of those long, sweltering summers when the days stretched lazily into the nights. I was 23, with long, fiery red hair that caught the sun's light and a spirit eager for adventure. Lucas, my 24-year-old cousin, was my partner in crime, and our bond was as deep as it was complicated. We spent those summer days at my family's lake house, a beautiful cabin nestled among the trees. The air was thick with the scent of pine and the sound of water lapping against the shore. Lucas and I had always been close, sharing secrets and laughter, but that summer felt different. A tension hung between us, electric and undeniable. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow across the water, Lucas and I found ourselves alone on the porch. The warmth of the day lingered in the air, and the intoxicating scent of his cologne mixed with the freshness of the lake. We reminisced about our childhood, but the air was charged, and our eyes lingered a moment too long. "Do you ever think about what it would be like if we crossed a line?" he asked, his voice low and teasing. My heart raced at his words, the implications swirling in my mind. "I don't know," I replied, trying to sound casual, though my cheeks flushed. "Maybe it would be complicated." Lucas leaned in closer, the heat between us palpable. "Complicated can be fun," he murmured, his breath warm against my skin. The night wore on, and as darkness enveloped us, we found ourselves sitting side by side, our knees brushing against each other. I could feel the tension building like a storm ready to break. Suddenly, he reached for my hand, intertwining our fingers. The simple gesture sent shivers down my spine, igniting a fire within me that I hadn't realized was there. I looked into his eyes, searching for signs of hesitation, but all I found was desire. "Let's go for a swim," he suggested, breaking the spell. I nodded, my heart pounding as we stood and made our way down to the dock. The water shimmered under the moonlight, inviting and cool. As we dove in, the shock of the water was exhilarating, washing away the tension that had been building all night. We splashed and laughed, feeling free and alive. But as we climbed out, my heart raced not just from the cold, but from the thrill of being so close to him, our bodies glistening and dripping with water. "Do you want to go back?" he asked, his voice teasing as he stepped closer, his gaze intense. I hesitated, caught in the moment. The air around us buzzed with unspoken words, and I could feel the magnetic pull drawing us together. "Maybe just for a little longer," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. In that moment, everything changed. As the night deepened, the air was thick with anticipation. Lucas and I stood there, the moonlight casting a silvery glow on our wet skin. Every second felt like an eternity, and I could feel the heat radiating from him, drawing me closer. "Let's sit on the dock," he suggested, gesturing to the weathered wooden planks. I nodded, my heart racing as we made our way over. We settled down, our legs dangling above the water, the gentle lapping of the waves creating a rhythmic backdrop to the charged silence between us. "Do you remember when we built that treehouse?" Lucas asked, breaking the tension. I smiled, recalling the summer days spent crafting our childhood hideaway, laughter echoing through the trees. "Yeah, we thought we could conquer the world from up there," I laughed, but my thoughts drifted back to the present. The distance between us was shrinking, and I could feel the magnetic energy rising again. Lucas turned to me, his expression serious now. "Ava, I've been thinking about us, about everything." His voice was low, almost a whisper, and I could see the conflict in his eyes. I swallowed hard, my breath hitching. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly. He took a deep breath, as if gathering courage. I mean, we're not just cousins. We have this connection. And it's been there for a long time. My pulse quickened. I couldn't deny it, I felt it too. The thrill of being so close to him was intoxicating, igniting a longing I had tried to suppress. "Lucas," I started, but he cut me off, leaning closer, his face inches from mine. "Ava, I can't stop thinking about you," he confessed, his eyes locked onto mine. The air hung heavy with unspoken words, and before I could respond, he closed the gap between us. His lips brushed against mine, soft and tentative, igniting a spark that sent shivers down my spine. The kiss deepened, and I felt as if the world around us faded away. It was a mix of sweetness and urgency, our lips moving in perfect harmony. My hands found their way to his hair, pulling him closer as his arms wrapped around my waist, drawing me against him. Time lost all meaning as we surrendered to the moment, the heat of our bodies mingling with the cool night air. Every kiss was a promise, every touch a declaration of desire that we could no longer ignore. But just as the intensity peaked, Lucas pulled back slightly, his breath ragged. "Ava, wait, we need to think about this." I looked into his eyes, a mix of confusion and yearning swirling within me. "What do you mean?" I asked, the reality of our situation crashing over me like a wave. "We could ruin everything," he murmured, his brow furrowed. "What if it doesn't work out?" I felt a pang of uncertainty, the weight of his words hanging in the air. But my heart told me to take the risk. "Sometimes, the best things come from taking chances, Lucas. We can't let fear hold us back." He hesitated, searching my eyes for something, maybe reassurance, maybe the same fiery desire that blazed within me. And just then, the tension snapped like a taut string, pulling us back into each other's arms. But as we kissed again, a flicker of doubt crept into my mind. What were we really getting ourselves into? I pushed the thought aside, the thrill of the moment was too intoxicating to resist. Little did I know, the summer night held secrets that would soon unravel everything we thought we knew. As the summer days rolled on, Lucas and I found ourselves caught in a whirlwind of stolen kisses and secret rendezvous. Each moment we spent together was intoxicating, our connection deepening with every shared glance and whispered confession. Yet, beneath the surface, I could feel an undercurrent of tension, a sense that something was waiting to surface. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and pink, we decided to take a boat out onto the lake. The water sparkled like diamonds, and the world felt far away. We paddled to a secluded cove where the trees hugged the shoreline, creating a perfect hideaway. As we drifted, Lucas leaned back, gazing at the sky. "This is perfect," he said, his voice filled with contentment. I watched him, my heart swelling with affection. But then, the unspoken fears began to creep back into my mind. "Lucas, have you thought about what happens after the summer?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He turned to me, a shadow passing over his features. "I've thought about it a lot," he admitted. "But I don't want to ruin what we have right now by worrying about the future." I nodded, feeling the weight of his words. I didn't want to think about the end of our summer either, but the reality of our situation loomed large. Just then, a noise from the shore caught my attention. I turned to see my parents walking along the water, heading toward the dock. My heart dropped. "Lucas, we need to go back," I said urgently, my pulse racing. We quickly paddled back, the thrill of our secret adventure now tinged with anxiety. As we reached the dock, I spotted my parents' curious glances. They had no idea about the nature of our relationship, and I wanted to keep it that way a little longer. but as the days passed, it became more difficult to hide our feelings. One night, after a particularly intense evening together, I found myself lying beside Lucas under the stars, our fingers intertwined. I could see the conflict in his eyes. "Ava, I need to tell you something," he started, his voice serious. "What is it?" I asked, my heart racing. "I've been thinking a lot about us, and I can't help but feel that there's more to this than just a summer fling. But I'm scared of what that means for us, for our families." I felt a pang of fear. "What are you saying?" I pressed, needing clarity. "I think I love you," he confessed, his gaze unwavering. The words hung in the air, both beautiful and terrifying. My heart soared, but the reality of our situation crashed down around us. "Lucas, if we're in this together, we need to be honest about everything." "There's something I haven't told you," I said hesitantly. He looked at me, concern etched on his face. "What is it?" I took a deep breath, knowing I had to reveal the truth. "When I was younger, I overheard a conversation between our parents about how they wanted us to stay close but also keep a distance," I admitted, my voice shaking. "They're worried about our relationship. They think it could complicate things." Lucas's expression shifted, realization dawning. "So they've known?" he asked, his voice low. I nodded, tears threatening to spill. I didn't want to believe it could change anything between us, but I think it's been in the back of my mind the entire time. He took a moment to process, his brow furrowing. "Ava, maybe we need to face this together. If we really feel this way, we can't let anyone dictate our happiness." Just then, a flicker of movement caught my eye. I turned to see my mother standing at the edge of the clearing, her expression a mix of shock and understanding. She had overheard everything. In that moment, the air felt charged with emotion. "Ava, Lucas," she said softly, stepping closer, "we need to talk." What followed was a heartfelt conversation that laid everything bare. My mother shared her own experiences of love and fear, emphasizing the importance of following one's heart. Lucas and I realized that while our families may have concerns, our feelings were genuine and worth pursuing. As the summer came to a close, we knew we faced challenges ahead, but we were determined to navigate them together. We embraced, sealing our promise with a kiss under the stars, the weight of the world feeling a little lighter. While the future remained uncertain, one thing was clear: our connection was undeniable, and we were ready to face whatever came next, together.